Future-proof your models and simplify your hobby with magnets.
Spiky bits.
How do magnets work? Hey everybody, I'm Rob Bear from SpikyBits.com, and today I'm going to show you, well, for hobbyists, exactly how magnets work and how you can simplify your hobby time with some really awesome products from the Magnet Baron. So themagnetbaron.com is the place to go to pick up all your magnet supplies. In a lot of cases, it's even cheaper than Amazon, but the cool thing is that he has a lot of kits for doing specifically the tasks that are such a chore for the tabletop hobby. They got stuff in here for all sorts of different games. You can see X-Wing, Legion, of course you've got the Warhams, but more importantly, there's easier ways to move your models around the table. And I think future-proofing your models and saving time in game is kind of where it's at least for me as a hobbyist right now. So some of the things I'm going to show you today are obviously the Ferris movement trays, which are incredibly affordable when you consider that they're just basically black. You don't even have to continue to hobby on them. You can measure from the edge of the base itself. You can see right here with these scions, like you literally measure from right there. There's no extra lip, there's no messing up movement and gaining inches and things like that. It's very neat. They're black, so they're matte. They're already going to be great. You don't have to put texture or anything on them. They're ready to go. There you can kind of see a little bit more on that in the 25 mil variety. And perhaps better is the price. Like, I mean, I'm sure you've seen, if you're in the market for something like this, you've seen some of the prices out there. And they're mildly comparable to this finished product right here that you don't even have to hobby on. It's Ferris, so that means that it's going to attract magnet polarity from any base that's already magnetized. And again, he sells the resin bases with the magnets in them. Let's see, those are probably on here somewhere as well. So you've got the movement trays, the cloud, you've got the mixing beads right here that I showed you for a airbrush paint or normal paint, whatever you want right there. Here's the pre-magnetized bases, the resin bases. If you like doing your own bases, this might be a great way to go. He has the right size magnets in there, so you're not gonna like rip them up off of the tray or anything like that, or rip your model off of there, or do any damage between them, but it's still gonna have enough attractive force with the, I think it's the N52 polarity, that it's still gonna stick. So he's figured all this stuff out. He's literally taken the magic out of using magnets, and you literally can just buy whatever you want on here. And at $3.99 for a pack of pre-magnetized bases ready to go, I mean, I'll let you decide, but for me, that's kind of a no-brainer hobby-wise. And let me show you some ideas on how I use these products around my hobby Beats Lab, which may or may not be the same as how you would use them. So here are the pre-magnetized acrylic bases, and of course they are in all the popular sizes. You've got 40 mil, 32 mil, 25 mil, we got 50 mil right here, and 75 mil oval. This is the bike or jet bike size base right here. So the popular sizes, of course there's more over there. He always seems to be adding more stuff. Every time I go over there, I'm like, what is this? Oh my gosh, another life changer, at least for me in my hobby life. So these are really neat, like I said, because they're pre-magnetized, they're easy to use. And what's cool about these is, for me, now I use a lot of custom resin bases. So these don't quite work for me, but I do have a very good use for them. When I'm working on miniatures, such as Mr. Sloppity Boppity right here, I have them already pre-glued to one of these magnetized magnetized acrylic base. And you're probably like, well, what the heck? Why does it even matter if you're just gonna take it off there? Well, here's the thing. If you're into project boxing your stuff, because I have an issue here with cat hair and stuff. So I have these little shoe boxes I got from Walmart, and my friend LT was like, yo, why don't you put some steel plate in the bottom of this? So I went to Lowe's and got some HVAC tin, and boom, literally sticks in there, right? So I can have my little project boxes when I'm done painting on my miniature out in the living room or something like that. Then I can secure all of my stuff in here. I don't have to worry about cat hair or anything like that. And it just works, which is pretty cool. And a lot of times I've got some bigger boxes. We're gonna do a separate video on that. But if you have the table war case as well, then this will save you a lot of time, you know, when you're magnetizing and transporting your miniatures. And then of course you can always just put your textures and things right over top of them. So this right here is a lifesaver. And then they've got the brand new Ferris. What are these things? What is the official name? Ferris movement tray. Now these are really neat because they have all sorts of different shapes and sizes. Of course, you got a 25 mil right here. You've got a 32 mil right here. I think they have a 40 mil is about the highest they go. But what's neat about this is that, like, just like I showed you, you literally just put your minis on it. Well, don't turn them upside down. This is just mostly for pushing them around the table, but you can line them up, and then of course you can measure. You know, when you're going to measure your stuff, you just say, hey, my stuff's in the front right there, and you just measure normally, so you're not gaining or losing any inches right there. Actually, is that the right side? Yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter at that point, but they're matte. They're pretty cool. Oh, I had it on the wrong side, that's why. So there's a right side and a wrong side. Hey, we're learning stuff every day. Okay, well anyways, so that's a pretty neat little trick. They have long ones too, so if you're a guard player or something like that and you want to you know, kind of screen your tanks and things, it'll help you kind of map it out in your head pretty well, I feel like, right there. And the last product I want to showcase for you today are the small flight stands. Well, not necessarily always small, but the magnetic flight stands packs. Now, all of these kits are going to come with your acrylic rod, your magnets, your ball bearing, and your recess magnet for that ball bearing to create a system to actually hold up whatever miniature you have, but also store it in a secure manner that you can break down and easily, you know, carry around whatever. What's cool about these new packs is they come with these little couplers or adapters for the base of the miniature. And all that is basically what looks to be a rock formation or a tree trunk or something, with a spot for the magnet that you're going to glue into this, and also a spot for the magnet at the bottom of the acrylic stand. And speaking of acrylic stands, you're going to get an acrylic stand or number of acrylic stands of some sort of diameter. I think this is probably a 1/4 inch right here. And it's going to have a recess at the top for the ball bearing that you're going to glue in here. It's pretty easy to do. And then on the bottom, he's already notched it out. See those grooves right there from the machining process? So the magnet's going to have a little bit more to grip to as you glue it onto there. And then of course into the actual model that you're trying to magnetize, you're going to glue this coupler right here, which has the recess for the ball bearing, which allows you to Tokyo drift and position your models all over the pew-pews. So what does that mean? Well, you can get a nice big model, something like this Forge Rolled Resin Custodes jet bike that I used a little bit bigger of a flight stand on here. I drilled the top recess magnet into the model itself, believe it or not. And then, you know, we just attach the ball bearing to right there. Boom, magnets on the bottom. But you can see the magnet on the bottom. I didn't have that coupler bit that they've come out with since, so I couldn't put it on here, and we're not going to retrofit it at that point. But you kind of see how hiding the magnet would be a neat little idea. And speaking of which, those couplers are actually semi-ferrous, which I thought they were just like a little cast or something like that. But no, it turns out, and they have them for the larger bases too. But it turns out, well, if I do it the right way, that, yeah, it's too big for it. It turns out that it's actually semi-ferrous as well. I'm trying to find, here it is. I'm trying to find one of these. So just take, well, there you go. You can already tell. So it's semi-ferrous, and it's going to help hold that magnet into there. But not only that, but that system you're going to create when you put the stem into here. So here's the one I've already done. It probably needs a little bit of X-Acto blading right there. Just be careful that you don't put too much glue in there, which I probably put a little too much glue in there, but that's okay. So there it is right there, and it's going to help stabilize everything. And let me tell you what this is a great use for, is that Inceptor model that I just showed you. So this guy right here, before, you know how it is with the stand, you've probably used one of these before, and they're just frustrating. They don't work right. They don't stay right. They just, yeah, at any given time they will just break, or it'll slide all the way in, and then you apply Mr. Bobblehead with your Inceptor model. They're just kind of frustrating in general to hobby on. Now this one I had to drill a little bit into the bottom right here to get it to work. This is the Dark Imperium ETB one, so it was a little challenging. If you have the multi-part one, it'll probably go a little bit better, but we got the socket in there ready to go. And as you can see, boom, doesn't Mr. Bobblehead all over the place, can be Superman or whatever you want him to be. And when it's ready to go into the box, look how easy it is to pick it up and put it away right there. So incredible stuff. I cannot say enough good things about the Magnet Baron and all the products. I finally wanted to do one big showcase video for all the products he's been sending me very patiently, waiting for me to do a review video on these. I snuck them in the resin base video there recently that we put out. I'll put a link to that somewhere around here, and so you can check that one out too. But the products over at Magnet Baron will save you time hobbying. They'll save you time on the tabletop. And at the end of the day, time is all we have, folks. So let's try to save as much of it as we can. So make sure you check out Magnet Baron, themagnetbaron.com, for all your hobby needs. Now, hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications. Be the very first to like and comment on all our videos. And thank you very much for your time watching this video.
Spiky Bits.